This video is going to show you the path of a starseed. So if you're somebody that identifies as a starseed, have heard the term before, then just know that you're in the right place, because I'm going to explain to you not only the path of the starseed, but the different roadblocks that you might come up to if you identify as one, and how you can balance this out and integrate so that it's an easier process, and really also to fulfill your mission. I believe if you identify as a starseed, or you've heard this term before, then there's a certain mission that you feel you have, and it's important to you that you accomplish it, but you might not have clarity around that, or you might feel a little bit blocked in certain areas of your life. And in this video, I want to share more about that. So back in 2019, I made a video on starseeds. It was a 3 things all starseeds need to know in 2019, and it went kind of viral. It got a lot of attention, and in actuality as well, it really explained, it was kind of like the basis of understanding what a starseed is, the different characteristics. So if you want to check out that video, I will link that below as well. And in that video, what I explain is that all of us are eternal spiritual beings, live in temporary human experiences. And we have existed not just in earth. Imagine being an eternal spiritual being and saying, I've only ever incarnated on this one planet, and that's it, and this one time period. And in actuality, every single person on this planet is a form of starseed. They have connections to a parallel reality where they have lives in different levels of consciousness. There are many different dimensions, many different levels of consciousness that exist. And the thing that's funny is people say, oh, I'm a starseed, I'm from this place. You have connections to many different aspects of the universe, not just one place. You could say, oh, I really resonate with this quality, with the, one that some people talk about is the Pleiadians, or the Lyrans, or Andromeda, or all these different star systems. And the universe is so vast, and there's so many different levels and types of consciousness that we are all one consciousness, and we have connections to different aspects of ourselves in different realities. And that's one thing that I kind of wanted to specify too, because sometimes you see people say, I'm a starseed, and sometimes there can also be a spiritual ego that comes with this. It was for me back in 2012 when I went through it. And I was like, these people they're not awake, they don't know who they are, but there becomes this thing where we start to feel separate because we're identifying as different than them. And it's about knowing that every single person has connections to parallel lives on different levels of consciousness. I believe when we go to bed at night, we are more aware or awake to these parts of ourselves. But we get these symbolic dreams that only our mind can understand, and a lot of times it's subconscious stuff of energy we're working through in this life, because maybe it would get in the way or interfere with the work that we're doing here. But in general, if you want more information on this, or you want like a little tidbit, basically there's books by Dolores Cannon that talks about this. There is the Law of One materials that talks about this, called the Raw Materials. And in general, a call was put out back in the 1920s, 1930s when we started to mess around with nuclear bombs. And what happened is, when we did that, when us as a consciousness, as a species started to do that, what happened is it was something that was putting us on a timeline of destroying the planet. So in a way, Mother Earth, Mother Gaia put out a call that said, I need help. Because if we didn't change our timeline, change our energy, we would have destroyed ourselves. Now the rule with this reality is we forget who we are so that we can then remember who we are on planet Earth. And one of the purposes of that is so that we can learn, so that we can understand more about ourselves. We can play this game of separation. However, what happened is when we started to mess around with nuclear bombs, the rule is we can do what interferes or what affects our planet, but when a nuclear bomb goes off, it starts to impact other reality systems because there's a ripple effect. So in the Dolores Cannon books, there's like 19 of them. They're all transcripts of people that were in a very deep level of hypnosis, and they, through thousands of people all over the world, were saying the same thing. They came here, they heard the call. They came here to wake up, go through a spiritual awakening in this life so that we could transform our consciousness from the inside out, because we're moving to a new level of consciousness. If we did not do this now, then the planet would have destroyed itself. We would have destroyed the planet. We would have literally destroyed it. And this is about people, the way that our reality system works is we must forget who we are so then we can remember who we are. And there's been certain forces on the planet that's kept this reality in a certain level of separation, and it's kept a lot of things in the dark. And what's happening now is all this stuff is coming to the light, and we came here because that was our way of influencing this reality to then wake up to a new level of consciousness. We had to play according to the rules. It's not like ETs would just land and say, oh, this is not going the right way. There's like a non-interference, kind of like in Star Trek. And in a way, what happened is we forgot who we are to remember who we are so that we can then wake up and go through this consciousness shift together. So this is in the Dolores Cannon materials. This is, you can read more about in the Law of One, different aspects of this, of us moving from what is called third density into fourth density, where life becomes much more dreamlike. It's much more about vibration. Old systems are falling away. And you'll look around right now and you can see that. There's more transparency than ever before. Now, in general, when it comes to starseeds, the things that I think we need to know and we need to go through this initiation is understanding first off that yes, we are eternal spiritual beings living temporary human experiences. However, one thing in common thread I see with going through this awakening, the starseed awakening, is that a lot of times people can become very grounded and not enjoy the 3D. Not even enjoy the 3D, but either get lost in it and become bitter or not want to be here. Back in 2012, I went through a spiritual awakening and I became aware of these different connections. I became aware of connections that I had to different star systems that I could feel, and in meditation it would be more powerful. But at the same time, I started to feel very ungrounded in the process. I felt like I wanted to ascend up into 5D level of consciousness and I did not want to be here. I literally was hoping that I would wake up one day in 5D. And back in 2012, when all that crazy stuff was happening with December 21st, 2012, I was one of those people that was really ungrounded, that wanted to ascend and did not want to be here. And it was kind of a funny thing to look back at it, but I went through a phase where I was just super ungrounded. I woke up on December 22nd, I was like, what the fuck? What's going on here? And I made a lot of, honestly, pretty dumb decisions. Not dumb. I don't necessarily regret it because I learned a lot in the process, but I told a lot of friends and family about this ascension that I wanted to happen, and I then didn't really care about my job and stuff like that. I quit my job on a whim. I was working at Nordstrom's in women's shoes, and I went through a very ungrounded phase, and I was very bitter towards the 3D experience because I didn't really identify as much as being human as I did as being a starseed. And that's one of the traps I wanted to share with you, is that the more grounded you become in this reality, and the more you can become at peace with the 3D, not necessarily just the 3D. The 3D is like duality, sometimes separation, control, but the more you can become at peace with being physical, the more roots you're going to lay, the higher up and the more ET-like experience you can have. So this really is about going within your body and also healing the energy inside of your body that may have come from childhood wound, childhood trauma, in this life. It may have come from ancestral energy that was passed down to you through your bloodline, through different family dynamics. These are things that we need to, as a starseed, remember, is that we're still having a 3D we're still having a physical experience. And if we heal inside of our body and we go more inside of our body and we focus on being more here and enjoying life, then we can then go higher. When I started doing this, my spiritual practice became even more expanded and also more realistic. Think about it. Many people that are starseeds, they want ETs to come here, right? They want these extra dimensional beings to come here to help us. And Bashar's talked a lot about this. He's a channel, kind of like Abraham Hicks. But he said for a long time that around the year 2035, it is probable that we start the first inklings of first contact. And a lot of this ET information has been suppressed for a very long time. And what I think is going to happen is it's not going to be like they land on the White House and like this it's on this, the news and the media outlets which are controlled. I think it's more so going to be like there's certain pockets of people that then have different experiences based on their vibration. But one of the dynamics that I want to share with you in this video as far as the starseed initiation is that yes, you are an eternal spiritual being having a temporary experience. Yes, you have parallel lives. Now, here's another important distinction. People say, oh, there's a lot of people that are starseeds that say, I want to go home. I want to go home. And I understand that. I felt that too back in 2012. I didn't want to be here. But when you realize that the way you define it is making it feel like Earth is not home. Earth is a very beautiful place. Earth is like, in a way, a melting pot of many different types of animals, many different types of beings. I believe that many of us incarnated come from many different parts of the solar system and different, universe and stuff. So it's like a very diverse melting pot. But when you start to become at home with yourself and realizing home is where you are, it changes the dynamic to where you begin to enjoy life more, and you begin to be here more. And what our goal is as starseeds is to, in a way, awaken ourselves and to spread our own light so that more and more people awake to this kind of information and are open to it. And it's happening. If you look around, this information is more open than ever before. You got people like Bob Lazar on Joe Rogan's podcast. You got whistleblowers coming forward that talk about a lot of things that have been suppressed. And what I think is going to happen is we need to, as a species, as starseeds, as whatever we want to call it, what we need to do is we need to see it more as natural for us to be and to have like ET contact. Right now, we have this savior complex going on where we want them to come down here to help us, and we want everything to be like kind of fixed, and instead of us going into our bodies and doing the shadow work, and then us doing the shadow work in our government and our collective consciousness, the thing to understand is the more we put anything on a pedestal, the more vibrationally separate we are from it. And the further away we are from it, the more we resist it. These higher dimensional beings are lowering their vibe to meet with us, and we need to raise our vibe to meet so that we can meet at an equal playing ground. But the more we put them on a pedestal and we don't realize that we are them, that's the joke of this whole thing. People are afraid of ETs, and these ETs are different aspects of our own consciousness because we're all connected. When we start to see them as one, like the law of one, we begin to feel more connected, and we're more likely to bring these experiences into our life. Now, the Starseed initiation is about us living our mission, living our purpose, what we came here to do in the way that we came here to do it. For me, it's making videos, it's spreading ideas, it's speaking. Yours might be that. Yours may be, you may be a healer. You may be have something else that you're really passionate about doing. You could be working a job that you love. Whatever you're doing is raising your frequency. Pay attention to how you feel. And what you want to do is integrate and do the shadow work, knowing that the more you grow your roots, the higher up you can go. And the key to this is going into your body. It is doing meditations that make you feel present and understand Earth is a beautiful place and you can enjoy the experience. Some people are kind of triggered because of the way I'm a spiritual person that also loves and enjoys the human experience. I love physicality. Now, yes, I meditate and I love connecting to higher realms, but some people get triggered when they see I live in a nice house, I travel the world, I live in abundance, because I figured out the human experience. I figured out how to market. I figured out how to get videos out there to the world, and I figured out how to help people, which is tied to my purpose. But I also love amazing food. I also love, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the Taurus in my chart. I have a Taurus ascendant. Maybe that's why I love, materialistic things, but I don't get lost in it. I'm not lost in food. I eat healthy. I'm not lost in materialistic things, but I don't resist it. I don't have these negative beliefs that infuse my reality, like money is bad or money is, I look at things as energy. But the more I become at peace with being in physicality, the deeper, we're trying to bring 5D here in physicality. We're not trying to go somewhere else. And the more we do that is the more we are initiating ourselves into this reality to where then it has much more power and it transforms consciousness in a much deeper level. So the thing I want to really encourage you to do is another aspect of your Starseed initiation may be that you go down this ungrounded route. It's bringing your energy back into your body and realizing that you're also human. You're a human having a human experience or a spiritual being having a spiritual being experience. But you have these connections and these different realities, and just as much as you are connecting to them, they are connecting to you. And you could in dream time be, or even in meditation, be connecting and sharing different energies and different gifts, different abilities, because they are you. And the key is recognizing that, but not getting lost in it, not taking away from your mission here. You have a mission here. And the part that's going to really help you is to really soak into that, to really be present with it and to go into your body. Now, the other aspect is in society, there's a lot of old stuff falling apart in 2021. It's happening right now. And a lot of the stuff is falling apart, and it's not even that it's falling apart, it's more so that there's more transparency. It can't be hidden any longer. People are seeing it for what it is. And the thing that I want to encourage you to do is to remain grounded in your purpose and in your own vibration, and to be doing what you love, and to enjoy the human experience as well, because that's going to raise your frequency. But to just recognize this is a part of the process. And there's certain dynamics playing out, and depending on your vibration is the reality you're going to experience. There's literally different reality bubbles. And Bashar talks about this, the parallel reality split. It's happening right now. There's different states that literally have different rules. And there is, you can either be in your own bubble. I know my buddy Victor, he was thinking about getting out of Vegas and coming to Sedona, but I think he's deciding to stay in Vegas because he's in his own reality bubble there with him and his family. He doesn't have to buy into all the people moving there and all the craziness that's happening with the masks and everything. It's his own reality. It is what he makes it. So you can do that, or you can move somewhere else. I moved my ship from Las Vegas to Sedona, and now possibly somewhere up, maybe in Texas. I might also go there every now and then. So I'm going where I choose to go based on the energy I choose to be in. And you have that choice. You have that ability to see that, but also to recognize that there's like literally a splitting of parallel realities happening. And what you can do is choose the energy you prefer to be in. Another little trap that I find on the Starseed initiation process, you might go down the conspiracy theory rabbit holes. It can be very beneficial and helpful in some ways to know that reality isn't the way it's been projected to be through media and stuff like that. But at the same time, it can become a trap because you get kind of drenched in lower vibrational energy. I was back when all this stuff happened in the beginning of 2020. I was getting really caught up in it. What I had to learn to do is I had to learn to let go of it. And I had to say, is this my purpose to get this information out there? Or is my purpose to, help people raise their vibe in a different way? And I found that even though it was like mind candy and it was very interesting, it was lowering my vibration and actually feeding the negative timelines. Because anything you feed with negative energy or fear feeds that reality. So the thing I encourage you to do is to focus more on your own vibration, but at the same time, realize that yes, you are a starseed, but you're also a human. You're here to have a human experience in physicality, and they're both beautiful. They're both beautiful. It's such an important time to be alive right now. And the Dolores Cannon material, it literally says that there are thousands, if not millions of souls that are trying to incarnate at this time just to say that they were alive during this transformation on the planet. And this is like something I think we should be very grateful to be here right now during this transformation. We chose to be here. As a starseed, you did not make a mistake. You chose to be here right now to bring 5D energy into your body, to become aware of these different starseed connections, but not to get lost in it. You can enjoy this human experience, and as you do, you will be developing deeper roots so that you can go higher. And then remember, with these ET star brothers and sisters, there are other aspects of us. We can start to see it as more natural for us. Stop putting them on a pedestal and thinking they're that much better than us, because we're all one consciousness. They are connected to us. This isn't a hierarchy in that way. Yes, some may be more involved and understand that we're all connected. That's the thing too, is people think, if these ETs are going to destroy us. That's coming from a perspective of a human who believes in separation and doesn't know that we're all connected. They know we're connected. Why would they do that? Some ET beings may have negative agendas. I do think that exists as well, but we are connecting more so to the positive ones as starseeds because we're bringing light into this reality to awaken. So I also have a Starseed activation meditation. It's one of the most powerful meditations I have. You can read the comments and see what's possible with it. You energetically go into like a healing chamber. It's a very powerful visualization process, completely free. Click the link below to listen to the Starseed activation meditation and let me know your experience, and like this video as well if you identify as a Starseed, or also you're going to commit to being and enjoying the human experience more. Let me know. Subscribe if you haven't done already. And as always, peace, much love, and namaste.